How's it going, guys? Today I want to talk to you guys about something I really like to do just after the fish are done spawning. They get into that post-spawn period with real early phases where it gets kind of weird to catch them, and a lot of times they suspend higher up in the water column. And when that happens, there's only really a couple techniques you can use to catch them, and I'm going to go over one of those today, and that's just throwing topwater baits. And I actually just fished a tournament this last weekend where a lot of the fish had just kind of finished up spawning. They were still really high in the water column. You could hardly get touched fishing something on the bottom, but we ended up catching fish on topwater almost all day. You know, even in bright sunlight conditions like this, crystal clear water, the fish were just high in the water column looking for something on the surface, whether it be fry or just some small forage or something like that. So I'm gonna go over a couple of my favorite baits to throw this time of year, that immediate post-spawn type phase. And the first one I like to throw is just a spook style pencil bait. This is a Duo Realis 110 pencil. As you can see, it's well used, caught probably 50 or 60 fish on it. So a really good bait, really loud, a lot louder than a lot of the baits you guys are probably throwing, spooks and stuff like that. It's got a little outward cup on the mouth which helps spit a lot of water, and it's just overall a really good walking bait. It sits probably at about a 60-degree angle or something. So good bait. I like to fish it fast, parallel to the bank, or even a little bit off the bank, just depending on where the fish are, over submerged cover and things like that, for fry garters and whatnot. So, and then another thing I like to fish right after they're done spawning is small little poppers. When the fish key in on fry, I like to throw two different kinds, the Splash It and the Rico. I personally can't tell a very big difference between the two, but they're both really good baits, really subtle. I like to fish these baits just by casting them out, fishing them very slow and methodical. So those are two really good baits also, especially for smallmouth. I really like the Rico and the Splash It. And then probably my favorite bait, if I could just pick one to throw, is going to be the Megabass Pop Max. And this bait's a super fun bait to fish. It walks incredibly well, it chugs, it spits, it does everything you need it to do. And that's really why I like it, because it's still a decent sized bait. You know, I think it's 3 1/8 inches long. You can see this is the Viper red color, very bright. I got it for smallmouth fishing, fishing very fast and popping it along and walking it. So if you guys haven't, go ahead and check out the Pop Max. If there's just one topwater you want to tie on that can do everything, this is the one. You can cast it to cover and fish it very slow. You can walk it back to the boat very fast. Any way you fish the Pop Max, you're not going to go wrong. So probably one of my favorite topwater baits. I'm only going to talk about those 4 baits today, just the standard stuff. You can do really good on a buzz bait and things like that. These are typically the ones that I throw, just some style spook bait. I like the gunfish too, Lucky Craft, the 115 and the 135, both really good baits. The 95 is good also. Try to somewhat match the forage. A lot of times when they're post spawn, they're keying in on forage that is only a couple inches long, you know, 1 to 3 inches long. But a lot of times you can still get them to come up for something like a spook fish fast, or a buzz bait that maybe resembles a school of fry. So, you know, when the fish get into that weird, awkward stage post-spawn, they're still high in the water column and just kind of hanging out, looking for something small to eat or something fast or whatever it may be, try some topwater. Even in the middle of the day, a lot of times if the fish are up there in that part of the water column in the first place, you can get them to come up to the surface. So hopefully that helped you guys a little bit. Maybe it'll, you know, help you guys put a couple fish in the boat when it's really tough conditions. You don't really know what else to throw. Break out a topwater and topwater rod and try to go to work and see what happens. Hopefully you guys catch some big fish, and stay tuned for next week. Thanks.